16-2 win. Tonight, the Mariners will be on the lookout for the Rocket. His fireballs always have the potential to strike out any team's firepower. And after the struggle is over, you have to show the world who's got the power. The Mariners and the Blue Jays play Powerball tonight on Fox Sports Northwest.
The last time the Seattle Mariners will meet the Toronto Blue Jays in 1998, and they'll face perhaps a future Hall of Famer in the Rocket, R.Clemens. And the Mariners will go with Billy Swift. Welcome back to the Kingdome for the finale between these two teams. I'm Dave Niehaus along with Ron Fairley. If you're the Toronto Blue Jays, you win a game 16-2. You hit 7 home runs. If you're the Seattle Mariners tonight, what do you remember about last night?
I don't. Did they play last night?
Exactly.
No, you try to get that game out of your mind as well as you can. Forget about that game. It was an ugly game for the Mariners. But you're going to be facing, as you said, a future Hall of Fame pitcher in R.Clemens tonight. You better get ready, because I know R.Clemens is ready to pitch.
The Mariners have had some success against R.Clemens. They beat him here a little bit earlier.
Yeah, they did. And they beat him with his fastball. They don't beat him with his breaking ball, the split finger and all. They beat him with his fastball. When R.Clemens makes mistakes with his fastball, that's when he gets hurt. If he can locate that fastball, he's almost unbeatable.
And Billy Swift, who was a winner in his last outing, winning his 10th game, will go for the Mariners. Well, talking about Powerball, a big guy with a couple of birds sitting on the left side of his chest, one on the right side of his chest. He has had himself some kind of a night. Let's check in on the home run derby and check in with Tom Glasgow right now.
All right, David, thanks a lot. I think it is indeed safe to say that the odds of Roger Maris's single-season home run record falling this year have increased dramatically over the past 24 hours. Yesterday in Chicago, Mark McGwire with 2 home runs to take his total to 49. Today, a twin bill at Shea against the Mets. Game 1. There it goes, a historic 50th home run. McGwire, the first player to hit 50 or more in 3 consecutive seasons. Game 2, Big Mac delivering number 51. 2 days, 4 home runs, and Mac is back on the home run attack. St. Louis taking game 1 2-0. And you know what? Mr. McGwire may not be done today. St. Louis and New York tied at 4 in the bottom of the 7th. If you're wondering about Sammy Sosa, no home runs today in the Cubs' victory over San Francisco, although Glenn Allen Hill did homer in that ball game. We'll talk about his former team some more. The Mariners, when we get you back to the Kingdome. Dave Niehaus and Ron Fairley have more as we get you ready for the M's and the J's.
Let's crunch some numbers on America's best-selling mini.
On an explosive night already in baseball. We had one here last night, of course, with the Toronto Blue Jays hitting 7 home runs, but that was still 3 shy of their club record. And tonight, Mark McGwire's already hit 2 to run his total to 51, and Shannon Stewart steps in and leads it off and takes the first pitch a little bit in under the hands at 7:06, the first pitch of the evening. Shannon Stewart hitting .275, was not one that hit one of the 7 home runs last night. And Swifty, that good sinker working for him, has the count go to 1 ball and 1 strike. Mark McGwire, as Tom Glasgow was pointing out, has hit 2 to give him 51. And for the Cardinals, that's a little bit high. Their doubleheader tonight with the New York Mets, games 125 and 126. Wouldn't you like to see Mark McGwire hit 62 home runs before game 155? A strike on the outside corner. Roger Maris, of course, did his 61 and 61 in 162 games, and there was a lot of controversy because Babe, of course, when he hit 60 and 27, did it in 154 games. And that's a base hit to left field, so the Toronto Blue Jays picking up right where they left off. And let's check the lineups.
All right, let's take a look at the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Blue Jays. Here's the way that Tim Johnson going here in game 2. Stewart, Green, Canseco, Delgado, Cruz, Fernandez, Fletcher, Graybeck, and then Gonzalez. Delgado with 6 home runs in August. Cruz with a 13-game hitting streak. Fernandez has a 12-game hitting streak, but also had a great month of August. And on the mound, Billy Swift with a record of 10-6. Holy cow, where would the Mariners be without Billy Swift, the 5th starter on their staff, and he's won 10 games. As you see the other numbers for Billy Swift.
Sean Green, with a 9-game hitting streak of his own, had 2 of the 7 home runs last night and 4 RBIs. And I mean, the Mariners were taken out of that ball game early last night. They trailed 6-0 after 3 and never got off the rug to get back in it. Green taking down low, snap throw to first base, and Shannon Stewart back. The Blue Jays a couple of games over 500 now with that win last night. The Mariners are 12 under. Way outside, 2 balls and no strikes. We were talking about McGuire and the chance that he's got an excellent chance, by the way, of getting to 61 or 62 by the 154 games in which Ruth hit his 60. When Maris hit his 61st in game 162, at the end of game 154, that pitch is tattooed deep to right, and Buhner goes back to make the catch. Line drive, a lot of top hand in it, and Sean Green is out. 1 down. When Maris hit his 61 in 61, at the end of 154 games, Roger Maris had hit 58 home runs. Now, last year, Mark McGuire hit 58 home runs. At the end of 154 games last year, McGuire had 54. So he hit 4 in the final 8 games, and Maris also hit 4 in the final 8 games.
I think that controversy is still around. Roger Maris has 61, and there's always that asterisk there with Babe Ruth sitting there with a 154 game schedule. I think you're right. If Mark McGuire is going to break the record, and I think it's great for baseball if he does, I hope he does it before 100 or in a 154 game period.
Ford Frick removed the asterisk, by the way, as Shannon Stewart fakes going, and the pitch is a delivery on the outside corner after a lot of controversy, as they made it the fact that Roger Maris hit 61 home runs in a baseball season, no matter how many games. But it's always in the back of your mind that had there not been 8 games added, he would not have had, obviously, those 61 home runs.
Well, if you look back on Babe Ruth, those last 8 games in 1927, Ruth hit 4-5. And so therefore, if you want to say the last 8 games, well, then maybe the record is 165. See? But you can't do that. You can't do that. But I think it's great for the game of baseball.
There goes Shannon Stewart. The pitch swung on and missed, and the throw to second base, not in time. So Shannon Stewart with his 38th stolen base, as we pointed out last night. The top 3 in the lineup will run you batty. That's number 38 for Shannon Stewart, and the top 3 in the lineup have 91 stolen bases.
Well, they do have a team that can run 143 stolen bases on the season, and clearly a stolen base for Shannon Stewart.
Two strikes on Canseco. Canseco with his number 33 that he has worn throughout his career back. Randy Myers was wearing number 33, and of course at the trading deadline went to the San Diego Padres, and Canseco glommed on to number 33 in a hurry. Toward the hole, through. Shannon Stewart's going to be held at third base. Canseco got that way off the end of the bat and just had perfect direction as he punches it into left field.
Just beyond the reach of both Davis and Rodriguez. You can see here goes the slowly hit ball, but boy, did it have eyes on it. Both the third baseman, shortstop diving for it, just beyond their reach. Still a double play though, and Swifty can get out of the inning.
And another man stepping up to the plate who had himself some kind of a night last night. This is Carlos Delgado. He had his 24th and 25th home runs last night. He had 5 RBIs. Oh, and 1. Well, for those of you watching the Yankees, of course, we left that ball game before it was over. Minnesota continues to lead New York 8-2 in the bottom half of the 6th inning. That score brought to you by our friends at Eagle Hardware and Garden. One.
Delgado's not hitting that many double plays, only 7 so far this year. And being a power hitter, Delgado with 25 home runs, does not hit a lot of balls on the ground. Home run hitters hit line drives and hit the ball in the air. Line drive hitters hit line drives and hard ground balls. But Swifty is a sinker ball pitcher, and if he keeps the ball down, he may induce Delgado to hit one at one of the infielders and maybe get the double play.
That's a foul ball. Carlos Delgado, as we mentioned last night, just recently named the team captain of the Toronto Blue Jays. He is the 2nd team captain this franchise has ever had. You're a heck of a Toronto Blue Jay fan if you can name me the other one. And the runner going, and it's low and inside, and an easy stolen base for J.Canseco. His 28th.
Boy, if you're going to steal, had a perfect pitch to steal on. A breaking ball low and inside had the batter jumping and getting out of the way, and Marzano did not even have a chance to throw the runner out.
2-2. And a little blooper hit into shallow right field is going to drop for a base hit. So it's going to score 2 as the ball is dribbled a little bit by Jr. out there, and Jr. looking, because Delgado rounded the bag at first, but away from the bag was Segui. He couldn't get back to accept the throw. So it is 2-0 Toronto, and you don't want to let them have too many for Roger Clemens. This ball game's over early.
Well, the reason Segui was not able to get back to first base is because he's the cutoff man. He has to get in around the mound area, so if Jr. does make a throw, if there is a throw at the plate, that Segui is in position to be the cutoff man.
Here's J.Cruz Jr., who got the home run derby started last night with a home run, the first of the 7 in the 2nd inning, to extend his career hitting streak to 13 games. Delgado was jammed with that pitch, and just his great power, strength pushed that ball. That ball is belted deep to right field, and Buhner goes back, and Jay looks up, and that will fly away. And J.Cruz Jr. has done it one more time, as all of a sudden the Blue Jays are romping. Here in the 1st inning, they have scored 4. J.Cruz Jr. with his 7th home run. And the Blue Jays are on the board big time against Billy Swift in the 1st. And Tony Fernandez will be the hitter.
Well, the Blue Jays seem to have that big inning against the Seattle Mariners. The last 2 times they faced the Mariners, they had big innings in Toronto. They had a big inning last night, and tonight, boom, already 4 runs.
So J.Cruz Jr., the ex-Mariner #1 draft choice, comes back to just sting Seattle in this 2-game series. And you know how good he must feel. 2-0 on Tony Fernandez. That's a strike. Mike Everett is the man calling balls and strikes tonight. 3-1. And that's outside, so Fernandez walks. Don't forget that the last time that Swifty pitched, he did get credit for the win over Chicago. But he went only 5 innings, and he gritted his teeth to get through 5 innings because Maglio Ordonez hit that shot off his shin in the 4th inning. And he just did get through the 5th. But he also got credit for the victory. And he was a hurting. Darren Fletcher had the long ball going for him last night in the 2nd inning. Low, ball 1. 1 ball on those strikes, and Swifty is throwing a lot of pitches here in the 1st.
Already I've got him unofficially with 24 pitches in here in the 1st inning.
On the corner, 1-1.
Also, one of the concerns that Lou has, and that is the bullpen. Used 5 pitchers out of the bullpen last night. They used 4 pitchers the night before. So that bullpen for the Mariners has been overworked a little in the last few games.
Swifty not close, and Swifty looks like he's really pushing the ball, short arming the ball tonight. Two and one on Darren Fletcher. And Swift's out there for a while.
Yeah, I think so. As I said, the bullpen has had quite a bit of work lately.
Fernandez was taken off.
Blue Jays continue to apply pressure, sending the runner on that 2-1 count, even though they lead by a 4-0 lead. But they also know that the Mariners are very much capable of getting back into games and throwing some power at them as well. So until they have this game in command, they're going to continue to be very aggressive on the bases.
And that pitch is laced to center field for a base hit. So the Blue Jays just keep a hitting here in the 1st. Six runs in innings 1, 2, and 3 last night. Already 4 tonight for Toronto. And Stan Williams out to the mound. Chat with Swifty, but nobody down in the pen. Three guys worked 1 inning each last night. Paniagua, Jose Paniagua, who made his Mariner debut. Greg McCarthy, who gave up another long ball. And Heathcliff Slocum, who worked the 9th. Ayala worked a couple. Wells worked a couple.
Batting 8th, second baseman number 4, Craig Grayback.
And here is a little guy that has been something against the Mariners. He had 4 more hits last night. Craig Grayback. R.Clemens got to be sitting over there licking his chops right now, saying, go ahead, guys, just keep tacking on some more. I'll take all I can get. Inside corner. 1-2. Already 30 for Billy. 30 pitches. Grayback, a fly ball, well stroked to deep right field, and Buhner goes over to make the catch. Tony Fernandez scoots on to third base. That's only the second out in the inning. And the ninth man in the lineup will come up here in the first. Alex Gonzalez.
Interesting, the last few games that the Mariners have had their problems. They've always had 1 or 2 innings in the game that have been their bugaboo, especially against the Toronto Blue Jays. The ninth man to bat here in the inning. They batted around in Toronto a couple of times.
Swifty is usually only about a 90 pitch pitcher anyway. And he's thrown himself a lot here in the first, and he misses low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Two and 1. A little slider that time, and Gonzalez trying to park it. What a cut he had. See, that sinker's not sinking much, and that was high and outside.
Well, when you have a sinker ball pitcher who is up, their ball doesn't move much. It's pretty hittable. He has to keep the ball down.
Got him swinging on what was ball 4. So a big first inning. A big first inning. 4 runs on 5 hits for the Toronto Blue Jays. They lead it 4-0, and we'll head to the bottom of the first after this word from Southwest Airlines.
Here we are, Shorty. Let's get down to the dirty work. You know, your grandma
Came up with 4 big runs in their half of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for Lou Piniella and the Seattle Mariners. It'll be Cora, Rodriguez, Griffey, Martinez, Segui, Buhner, Davis, Marzano, and then Ducey. Cora needs just a couple of hits for 1,000 in his career. Alex with a 12-game hitting streak. And Junior against Roger Clemens wears him out. 6 home runs and a .406 batting average. Roger Clemens on the mound with a record of 14-6, and 14 wins are tied for 5th most in the league, 3rd best ERA. You can see the other numbers for Roger Clemens. 185 strikeouts. That is 3rd most in the American League. And defensively, Stewart, Cruz, Green in the outfield, Fernandez, Gonzalez, Graybeck, Delgado around the infield, Fletcher behind the plate. And on the mound, a guy that has not lost since May 29th against the Cleveland Indians.
Well, he is 10-1 since the Mariners beat him on May the 18th, Red, in Toronto. So he has been on a roll. Hall of Famer, you bet. 300-game winner, that remains to be seen. He's 36 years of age. He's won 227 games as Joey Cora has the count go to 1 ball and 1 strike. But, you know, at that age, 36, he certainly doesn't need the money. He's making a lot of money. He's already made a lot of money. It's how much he wants to stay with it, how much he wants to be away from the family. He has a wonderful family. Makes his home in Houston, as you all know. And questions the Toronto Blue Jays about how much they want to win and what they're going to do in the offseason. And matter of fact, wanted to move at the All-Star break, not the All-Star break, but the trading deadline. At least he talked to Gordash about it, if they were going to unload a lot of talent. And so Clemens is really kind of dictating his own terms. It's my theory that if you sign a contract, contract's a contract. If it's for 3 or 4 years, that's what it's supposed to be for. But somehow, some way, ball players don't look at it that way, or at least it hasn't seemed to be that way. Slice foul down the third baseline. Now, if your contract's up, that's another thing.
Then you can say goodbye. You do anything you want to. But I think if you sign a 3 or 4 year contract, I think you should honor it.
So Joey Cora does work the racket for a free pass to start off the ball game. Second among active players in wins. 12th lowest all-time earned run average. And 3,067 strikeouts, 11th most all-time. By comparison, Randy Johnson, who's 35, started this year with 2,000 strikeouts. And RJ left the Mariners with 213, leading the American League. And by the way, that still leads the American League. I don't know how many he has in his 4 starts with Houston. Randy Johnson should get to 3,000 strikeouts, but it will be, you know, what, 4 years, 3.5 years before he gets to 3,000 strikeouts. Randy takes high, 1 ball, and rather Alex takes high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Alex has hit 5 home runs, 5 of his 36 against these Toronto Blue Jays this year. 4-0 Toronto. And a number down the third baseline. A fair ball, bobbled by Fletcher. He's thrown to first base, and just in time, according to Larry McCoy. Man, was that close. Good hustle by A-Rod.
Well, Alex always gives you that good effort running down the line. The only reason it was close is because Fletcher bobbled the ball right at home plate. Look at it again. As you can see, the tapper out in front of the mound, and Fletcher comes up the ball right there. It's going to be an easy play, but by dropping it, makes it a lot closer. Look at the throw once again from Fletcher. Boy, I'm not too sure that he was out.
Fine eyelash, according to Larry McCoy. Here's Junior, who is a lifetime 400 hitter against Roger Clemens. 406, as a matter of fact. Clemens throws one right by him. And that's a little bit high. Doing 1 on Kenny. White Sox move in for 4 to wrap up this homestand. And then the Mariners go off to face the big boys. 3 of the 4 that will undoubtedly be in the playoffs. The Cleveland Indians, the leaders in the Central. The New York Yankees, who are going to win a zillion ball games, and the Boston Red Sox, who look like they're going to win as the wild card participant. And the Mariners will face all 3 next week on the road. Junior, a tee shot to center field, but Cruz goes back and Jose makes the catch. So Cora will go from second to third. And Edgar Martinez will be the hitter.
You were saying at the opening that one of the big keys for Roger Clemens is that he has to locate his fastball. And he can make a few mistakes with his fastball because he has such a good one, 95-mile-an-hour fastball. But it's the fastball that sets up all the other pitches. Sets up his slider, sets up his split finger.
Easy ground ball for Graybeck. And Cora is stranded over at third base. So when we come back, it'll be twice through the lineup for Billy Swift, because he'll start at the top one more time with the Jays leading it 4-0. Shop at Safeway and play $1 Million inning now, and Billy Swift in arrears by 4. We'll go through the list one more time. You'll add Shannon Stewart to start it off, and Stewart started it off in the first with a line drive to left field. And at the knees is Swifty, 0-1. Man alive, just a rope into the corner. So he's going to have the double to go with his single. Half ball roped into the corner.
Yeah, and Russ Davis did not have a chance in that ball. That ball was just ripped right on by him. As you can see from the down the line, that ball was really by him before he had a chance to react to it very well. An easy stand-up double, and look out, here they go again.
Sean Green hit the ball hard, and I mean right on the button, but he had too much top hand in it, and he hit it to Buhner in first. And that's laced to left field. So Shannon Stewart will go to third base, and they're going to wave him in. The throw is cut off, and now the throw back to first base, and they've got Shannon Green. They've got Sean Green hung up, and they will bulldog him out there. But not before he gets the RBI single to left field. And it's a 5-0 ball game.
Dave, I'm not too sure that with the throw that Ducey made, that if Russ Davis lets the ball go through, that they get Stewart at the plate. Looked like it was an accurate throw. Might have had him at the plate. But they finally get the rundown, and Cora makes the tag for the first out.
7-5-3-4 if you are scoring. And a strike to J.Canseco. Yeah, I didn't see anything wrong with that throw. I thought they had a heck of a shot.
Watching Canseco swing the bat, it's pretty much all or nothing. As you point out last night, 10 of his last 29 hits are home runs.
Oh. And he was going to go over to the dugout. He thought that was strike 3.
Jose, you might have been right. now this is a free swing here.
And he nubs it to the right side to Joey Cora, who throws him out. And Carlos Delgado will be the hitter. Say if any Mariner player, Red, hits for the cycle with single, double, triple, and home run, Alice Willie of Pullman is going to win the $1 million this evening. You can play $1 Million Baseball Magic at any participating Safeway today. Alice Willie of Pullman is our contestant this evening. Carlos Delgado hits a tee shot into deep left center field, and Mr. Ducey's going to catch up with it. So here in the second are one on a couple of hits. And as we go to the bottom half of the second, the Blue Jays now lead it by a score of 5-0.
Wow. It's what people are saying about our
Cardinals and Mets in New York, 8th inning, game 2 of a twin bill, and Mark McGwire striking out in the 8th with his team down a run, but he hit 2 home runs today. He's up to 51. Mets win the nightcap 5-4.
Well, like they did last night, the Mariners have to dig out of a deep hole early. Last night they trailed 6-0 after 3, and tonight they trail 5-0 after an inning and a half. And David Segui takes the first delivery, low and outside. Ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Roger Clemens, when he beat the Mariners back here on May the 7th, pitched one of the sloppiest shutouts I have ever seen. It was an 11-hit shutout. That's a strike on the inside corner. One ball and 2 strikes.
Yes, when you say scatter 11 hits, I guess that would be the definition.
Well, that was that ball game. I'm sure fans that saw it on television will never forget it. I'll never forget it for one particular reason. That one being one, the fact that it was an 11-hit shutout, but it's also the one that set a new American League record for lobs left on base by the Mariners.
Oh,
16.
yes.
16 for a 9-inning game.
In fact, that's one of the areas where the Mariners have had their problems this year, leaving men on base.
Pretty good pitching right there. A little change up on the outside part of the plate. Segui trying to pull it and rolls it right to second.
We're talking about that game that Roger Clemens had. There's a fastball low and away. There's another one. Now comes the breaking ball. The split fingers next. Roger Clemens had 6 strikeouts in that game.
All right.
And is now lifetime 17-10 against the Mariners. 11 complete games, 3 shutouts.
At the knees, 0-1.
Junior, not Junior, but Jay's hit a couple of home runs against Roger Clemens, although he's had trouble making contact. Roger struck him out a few times.
I guess that was his slider, a curveball. I don't think that was his forkball. It was a big breaker. That was his slider.
There's a nice little breaking ball for a strike.
Right to Tony Fernandez. So a couple down in a hurry, and Russ Davis will be the hitter.
Batting 7th, the third baseman, number 18, Russ Davis.
Russ is having another fine year offensively. He's already established a career high for runs batted in a year. He's got 71. Can't remember the last time the Yankees lost 2 in a row, but looks like they're going to do so tonight. See, Roger was perfect in June and July, and he's perfect in August. Clemens, a big-boned Texan. University of Texas, listed at 6'4", 230 pounds. He is a big man. Gets a lot on his fastball from his drive in his legs, from his hero. He copied Nolan Ryan. Ryan not as big a man as Roger Clemens.
But you can see he has big thighs, and as you pointed out, Nolan Ryan, very strong in his legs throughout his career, uses those legs and those big muscles, just like Roger Clemens.
Nolan Ryan was a leg wrestler. I've never heard of it, but he was. He wrestled with his legs as a kid and built up the thighs. How do you pin somebody with their legs? It's to me like keep flailing your arms, right?
I'm not gonna touch those kind of questions.
2-2. Knocked down and picked up by Graybeck, and Russ Davis is history, and so are the Mariners here in the second. So 3 up and 3 down, and after 2, Toronto up big, 5-zip.
Wow, it's Dave.
He's leading it big as we go to the third, and Mr. Cruz stepping up to the plate. This was his trip the last time. Another home run for Jose Cruz. His second home run in as many nights. A two-run home run in that instance. And here he is again. 1 ball and no strikes. A night that has seen Mark McGwire hit home runs 50 and 51. Cardinals and the Mets splitting a doubleheader. Strike at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. And McGwire becomes the first man in baseball history to hit 50 home runs 3 consecutive years. Well, you would have thought that Ruth would have done that, wouldn't you? That's pulled just foul down the right field line.
Well, if you thought if anyone was going to do it, it probably would have been Babe Ruth.
This time A-Rod's going to get him. Boy, look at Cruz hustle. That's good to see. Very close over at first base. Well, have your name go down in baseball history. You can be a part of Safeco Field by reserving your very own personalized brick that's going to appear in the ballpark's Royal Brome Fan Walk. Those bricks contain 2 lines of copy. They're a great way to express your love for the game of baseball. Replica bricks are also available. They make a great gift for the home or the office. To order your personalized brick, you can call now 206-622-HITS and reserve your brick. Be a part of America's next great ballpark, which is 327 days away from hosting Game 1. There it is. Tony Fernandez has the count. Quickly go to 2 strikes on him. And Tony looking back to Mike Everett a little bit. Alex has another shot. As Fernandez a lot easier than he had Jose Cruz Jr. So 2 away. And here's Darren Fletcher.
You know, one thing I've noticed about the Blue Jays in this series, and also up in Toronto, is that they're not pulling the ball as much. And I don't know whether that's because of Sarge, their hitting instructor, but they seem like they're taking a lot of balls back up the middle and the other way.
1 strike on Darren Fletcher. You played for both Canadian teams. Any difference between the Toronto fans and the Montreal fans?
Well, both fans were kind of quiet. They're good baseball fans and enjoy the game. But in Montreal, we played in that little tiny ballpark called Parc Jarry just before they opened Olympic Stadium. And it was a very friendly little ballpark, and you got to know the fans. I mean, they were the same fans all the time.
Hit right at Buhner, charging up, and Jay goes to his rear end to make the fine catch. of that sinking line drive off the bat of Darren Fletcher. Outstanding play by Bone in right. And we'll move to the bottom half of the third with the Blue Jays still leading it 5-0.
The ultimate Derek Jeter dream day.
Well, Roger Clemens will face one of his good friends who used to catch him when a kid, former #1 draft choice of the Boston Red Sox, John Marzano, and a man for whom Marzano has tremendous admiration. And Marzi will lead it off for the Mariners here, and then Rob Ducey, and then Joey Cora. Not a bad crowd tonight for this final meeting of the year between these two ball clubs. Probably close to 25,000 to 30,000. Boy, the season's winding down, isn't it? Game number 125. Only 37 more games to go. Three and 1 on John Marzano. Alex Gonzalez has got him easily. And Rob Ducey, the Toronto native.
Changes things around when you're working on a 5-0 lead and you're the kind of pitcher that Roger Clemens is. He may nibble a little earlier in the count, but when you get down to a 3-1 count, he's going to say, here it is. He's not going to walk you. He's going to go right after you.
A ball and no strikes. Of course, Clemens forever will live in Mariner history and lore because of his feat in 1986. That change, there's his forkball right on the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike when he struck out 20 Seattle Mariners to establish a new major league record. And then, of course, since then, did it one more time against the Detroit Tigers. And this year, the rookie, Gary Wood, the Chicago Cubs, struck out 20. Houston Astros. 27 out. You strike out 20 people. Mercy. Somebody will come along and strike out 21, 22. Was it Tom Cheney? Struck out 21 in an extra inning game, the old Washington Senators.
I'm trying to think of the year. But obviously an extra inning game.
Right.
But to do it in 9 innings and be so dominating, not only to do it once, but he's done it twice.
Race to the bag, no problem whatsoever. Roger Clemens probably headed to the Hall of Fame. He is a power pitcher, but that is not all. Listen to what he has to say about his stuff and how he wins.
I'm a power pitcher. I can overpower you, but I can pitch. I take a lot of pride in being able to pitch. And I don't have to throw a ball 95 miles an hour to try and beat you. And I almost like winning those games that I don't have that great control or I don't have a hard fastball.
You bet he can pitch.
You know, we talk about pitchers, and a key to a pitcher might be this or that. Or the key to the pitcher is a certain pitch. That is his key pitch that he gets you out with. with a guy like Roger Clemens, the key pitch for him is his fastball, his slider, his curveball, his split. He's got 4 out pitches. He has 4 pitches that he can get you out with. And that's what makes this guy so tough. I mean, you can't go up there looking for any 1 or 2 pitches to hit. He has that many pitches that he can go to.
Well, through 3 innings, Roger Clemens has not given up a hit. And so he's on his stick tonight, and he has a rather comfortable lead as we go to the 4th. It's still 5-0 Toronto. Jays up by a score of 5-0. Roger Clemens has not given up a hit. Of course, we are only through 3 innings, but if you're wondering of all the great things that Roger Clemens has accomplished, he has not pitched a no-hitter. He's pitched a 1-hitter. He has never pitched a no-hitter. Craig Graybeck rolls that ball foul. 0-1.
You have to admire a little guy like this. He's only about 5'7", weighs about 135 pounds, 140 pounds. And right now the Mariners don't have a pitch to get this guy out.
No, they can't get him out.
Seems like every time he's in the lineup, he ends up with 3 hits.
One and 2 on Craig Graybeck. It's been in the major leagues 9 years. Buehner's going to handle him for the 2nd time tonight, however. So 1 down. The 2nd annual Mariners Fantasy Camp gives you the opportunity to make it to the big leagues if you're 30 or over. You can join former Mariners Dave Henderson and Digger Phelps and Julio Cruz and others January the 24th to the 31st, final week of January next year at the Mariners Spring Training Complex in Peoria, Arizona, for a full week of instruction, drills, and games and fun. And you're going to receive an authentic Mariners uniform also. For more information, you can call 1-800-MY-MARINERS. Lined into right field. So Alex Gonzalez has the 8th hit. The Blue Jays last night had 21 hits. 2 shy of the most hits ever given up by the Mariners. The Mariners did give up more home runs in that game than they've ever given up. 7.
Well, the last 3 games coming in to tonight's play, but 3 games prior, Blue Jays have outscored the Mariners 44-11, and they've banged out 45 hits. Mariners have had a rough time getting these guys out.
Final from the Metrodome. The Yankees have lost 2 in a row. That's almost bulletin material as the Twins beat them 9-4. Runner goes low and outside, throw through to second base on a hop. Safe at second base is Alex Gonzalez with number 17.
Well, he said that the Blue Jays, very aggressive on the bases, lead the American League in stolen bases, and here we go. The head first dive, 2nd stolen base in the game for the Blue Jays. And they now have 144 stolen bases.
One and 2. Gonzalez had a notion he was well out on the carpet out there at second base.
Well, they better keep an eye on him, because I know one thing, that Canseco likes to steal third a lot. So I think Marzy's going out to remind Swifty right now, hey, pick up that runner at second base and don't get into the habit of come set pitch, come set pitch, because if you do that, then the hitters are going to time you, because as soon as you come set, they're going to take off running, and if you go to the plate, then you're not going to have a chance to throw them out at all. So change your delivery.
Yeah, right on the outside corner. Shannon Stewart, wrong eye. Billy Swift with his second strikeout.
See how close this pitch is, the tailing fastball. And I think may have had the benefit of the doubt that time by Mike Everett. But still, a good pitch.
Sean Green, the hitter, and he takes it low. These Blue Jays head on down to Southern California to take on Anaheim, 3 games. White Sox come in here for 4. One ball, 1 strike to count. Two and one on Sean Green. Swifty throwing a lot better here in the 4th than he did in the 1st. Seems to be getting more movement to his ball. Pulled, however, fair down the right field line into the corner, and Alex Gonzalez is going to easily score as Buhner goes over into the corner, and pulling into second base, Sean Green with an RBI double, and he is 2 for 3, and it's a 6-0 again tonight, and Jose Canseco will be the hitter.
Tried to come inside and obviously could not get it in far enough to Sean Green. And right now, if the Blue Jays hit the ball hard, it's going to find a hole.
Canseco hits it hard and real hard into the gap on a hop off the wall. So that's going to pick up Sean Green. Jose Canseco steams into second base, and again it's another rout early for the Toronto Blue Jays. It is 7-0 Toronto, and Delgado will be the hitter.
And I think with that, we're going to see some action out of the Mariners bullpen. 22nd double of the season for Canseco, and Bob Wells, who has appeared in each of the last 2 games, starting to loosen up.
Might be another march to the bullpen tonight in this one. And Delgado is hit with a pitch. Getting sloppy. And Jose Cruz Jr., another one. Home run tonight. That is the hitter. lull for that sinker. A ball and no strikes. Ball gets away from the bullpen area down the left field line. The ball rolling all the way out behind Alex Rodriguez as Wells uncorked one in the short hop, the catcher down there. So time call. Well, that ball is removed. One and one. So Swift has the advantage right now. Swift is just about done, however. Up there around 80 pitches, and we're only in the 4th inning. And that's pulled up the first base line, a fair ball, and Segui has thrown to Swift just in time. 2 more for the Toronto Blue Jays, so we'll go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Now the thing to keep your eye on is if Roger Clemens can keep that 0 in the hit column. It is 7-0 Toronto.
First Plus will beat any deal. Hey, if you're a homeowner.
Mariners baseball on Fox Sports Northwest is brought to you by your friendly Northwest Dodge dealer, by Eagle Hardware and Garden, full of everything, and by the Discover card. It pays to discover. Well, Mr. Roger Clemens with a nice 7-0 lead as we go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. And A-Rod can't find the delivery. 0-1 the count. The Blue Jays have flown into town, and so far in this series have outscored the Mariners 23-2. And we are only in the bottom half of the 4th inning of game number 2. Two strikes.
Boy, Alex has had a couple of good pitches to hit from Clemens and fouled them both straight back. Well, that's good. But what is also not so good is that Clemens is due to make a good pitch now. Ooh, almost. See? I mean, you're going to. He's going to give you pitches to hit. It's just that you have to be ready to hit them when he gives them to you.
That's the one J.Canseco was headed over the dugout.
That's right.
1-2. Boy, another one mighty close.
Also shows you how keen the eye of the hitter can be in recognizing balls and strikes. Not only are the umpires good, but some hitters are very good as well.
Right down the middle that time. I mean, there wasn't anything that Mike ever could do except wave him out of net. That split the heart of the plate. Do you believe that's the first strikeout for Roger Clemens?
Going into the 4th inning and not have a strikeout. That is not his style. Still, Mariners have yet to get a hit.
Junior hit one on the button right to J.Cruz Jr. And he hits this one to J.Cruz Jr. also on the first pitch.
Designated hitter number 11, Edgar Martinez.
Edgar Martinez rolled one easily to Graybeck.
little bit high to Edgar. Clemens putting it in cruise control, but not really. When you've got a no-hitter going, this might be a special night. He's trying to be as sharp as he can be, as if it was a 1-0 ball game, and he misses upstairs 2-0.
But it does show you the concentration and the competitiveness of a guy like Roger Clemens, knowing that he's got a 7-0 lead, but still look at the concentration and the pitches he's making.
Alex Gonzalez throws him out, and it's a 1-2-3 4th inning for the Mariners, and through 4, Clemens has not given up a hit, and the Blue Jays have that big lead of 7-0.
Shop at Safeway and play $1 Million Baseball Magic.
3-2 Texas in the 7th. That's Roberto Kelly with 2 on. Look at nobody out there, and then the kids are coming. They're going to get that ball. It's a 3-run shot. 6-2 Rangers.
Well, the Blue Jays struck early with a 4 spot in the first, and they lead it by a score of 7-0 as we go to the 5th inning of play. Tony Fernandez is the hitter, and he has gone 0 for 1. Fernandez takes it to a little bit low. Anaheim romping over the Detroit Tigers 7-1 in the top of the 5th. Alex Rodriguez makes an outstanding play. They throw him out.
Kind of get spoiled watching Alex play every day, and you expect that every shortstop in the league and that every infielder should make plays like this. It was not an easy play because of the fact that he covers so much area out there. He has great range, good hands, great throwing arm. Kind of gets you in the habit of taking things for granted.
Well, he's the whole package, and
absolutely,
he's the best shortstop in the game. Not as flashy as an Omar Vizquel. He doesn't barehand the ball like an Omar Vizquel. He's already been jobbed out of 1 MVP 2 years ago and should have won that, and having another MVP year. Darren Fletcher rolls one by Joey Cora into right field.
Good effort by Joey, but that had base hit all the way written on it. Look at it one more time on the carpet. That ball is going to shoot to the infield a little bit faster, but Joey with a good effort.
Already 11 hits, but Swifty, kind of the sacrificial lamb out there. He's going to be asked to throw around 90 pitches no matter what the score is, to try and save the bullpen a little bit. And the Mariners are in that terrible stretch of where they are not having any off days at all. They're in a stretch of 20 straight games without a day off. This is the 7th of the 20 straight. There's the calendar. Mariners don't have an off day until the 3rd of September. And that ball is drilled to left, but Ducey will make the catch. So Grayback is handled, and Alex Gonzalez the hitter.
Shortstop Alex Gonzalez.
A little bit offside. Ball 2 balls and no strikes.
These are tough games to play in when you have lopsided scores like this, but you have to be able to go out and grind it out. You have to play hard regardless of what the score is. There are a lot of scouts in the stands right now evaluating players, and if you want to know something about a player, when his team is not playing well, how hard does he play?
So Alex Gonzalez walks.
Left fielder Shannon Stewart.
Shannon Stewart, 2 for 3, the hitter.
So when scouts watch the teams play throughout the balance of this season, they're looking, other teams are looking for players that might be able to help them out.
A-Rod goes a short way, and that takes care of the Blue Jays here in the 5th. But after 4 1/2, they have the big lead. They lead the Mariners 7-0.
Inning here in the Kingdome. It's the Blue Jays 7 and the Mariners nothing. Hi again, everybody. Rick Riz along with Bill Kruger, and Bill the Rocket Man, still the Rocket Man at the age of 35.
Yeah, he's been tough. He started slow, but he's gathering momentum. His split fingers, high 80s, and getting that fastball up to 97 miles an hour. And that's bad news when you're down 7 runs to the home 9.
Here are the numbers on Clemens. Look at that. 4 innings. He has yet to give up a hit. The only base runner was the leadoff walk to Joey Cora in the bottom of the 1st inning. David Segui leads things off, and he fouls away Clemens' pitch. 0-1. David is 0 for 1, is bounced out to Graybeck at 2nd. He'll be followed by Jay Buhner and then Russ Davis.
Really hasn't been a pretty efficient Roger Clemens this evening. Not the big strikeout numbers that we're accustomed to seeing.
Bouncer over the mound. Tough play. Charging across Tony Fernandez. The throw is late, and the Mariners have their first hit off Roger Clemens. An infield single, a chopper right in between the mound and second base. Tony Fernandez had a long way to go, and David Segui is safe at first base.
Tony Fernandez showing a lot of range on that high chopper. David Segui pounds this ball into the turf. Big hop over Roger. He has no chance. Tony Fernandez coming from nowhere to try to make this play, and makes a very close play of it.
Good hustle by Segui. We get a chance to look at it one more time. Fernandez, the tough off-balance throw, a good one, but Segui is safe at first base.
Former shortstop is used to ranging for balls left or right. Fernandez hasn't forgotten that he has that ability.
Here's right fielder Jay Buhner. Ball 1.
Roger worked Jay with a lot of sliders away the first time up. Starts him with a big heater up and in.
Jay 0 for 1, bounced out to Fernandez over at third base in the 2nd inning. Out of play on the first base side. 1 ball and 1 strike.
For those that haven't watched Roger Clemens a whole lot over the last year or so, he's developed a nasty, filthy split finger that he can throw in the high 80s to complement a 95+ mile an hour fastball and a terrific slider. To go along with the makeup that he has, that's a deadly combination.
One of the more dominant pitchers ever since he broke in with the Red Sox in 1984. Strike 2 called to the outside corner, 1-2. Had a chance to visit with Lou Piniella before the ball game. Lou's final year in the big leagues as a player with the Yankees was 1984. He appeared in only 29 games that year. He said he didn't face Clemens in '84 because the Yankees were platooning him at that time. But he had a chance to watch him break in.
I don't know if people realize, but Lou Piniella played until he was 41 years old.
Yeah.
17 years in the big leagues. Didn't break in until he was 24 years old. And Lou and I had a neat conversation this afternoon. He was saying that the types of pitchers that he did well against were guys like Clemens, guys that threw hard, fastball, slider guys. He had trouble with the junk ballers.
We talked about that the other day. Swing and a miss by Buhner for strike 3, and Clemens has strikeout number 2. Well, it's Baseball Thursday on Fox Sports Northwest. It's a preview of a matchup you may see in October. The Angels look to be crowned the Best of the West. The Bombers show no signs of letting up as they chase a spot in the record books. The Angels, the Yankees, Thursday at 4:30 on Fox Sports Northwest. But they're having a rough time against the Twins the last few days. They lost yesterday and lost again tonight to Minnesota.
I was just going to say, they finally found a team they couldn't beat. The Twinkies.
The Twins won tonight at home 9-4 against the Yankees. What a year for New York. Chance to set the all-time record for wins. Russ Davis takes a pitch, 1 ball and 1 strike. The record is 116 wins set by the 1906 Chicago Cubs.
Tinkers to Evers to Chance.
And they lost the World Series that year to the Chicago White Sox.
Oh, those White Sox, they were cheating. They were just getting started on their cheating then.
Well, they did in 1919. Ground ball right side. Graybeck second for 1. Relay by Gonzalez. What a double play. Turned by the Blue Jays. They get Segui at second and double up Davis over at first base. And that's it for the Mariners in the 5th inning. Blue Jays lead 7-0. We'll head to the 6th after this word from Southwest Airlines.
Unlike other airlines, Southwest doesn't.
Jays 7 and the Mariners nothing. Toronto will send up Sean Green, Jose Canseco, and Carlos Delgado. Low and outside, ball 1.
This young man is really coming into his own this year. 25 home runs and has had a big series against the Mariners this week.
On a hop, Alex Rodriguez. Nice stop. Stays in front of it and makes the play. 1 out for the Blue Jays in the 6th inning. Well, friends, following the Mariners White Sox game tomorrow night, the Kingdom is going to be rocking as Miller Genuine Draft presents the ultimate doubleheader concert featuring the world classic rockers. We've assembled an all-star band featuring original members of such legendary groups as the Eagles, the Wings, the Spencer Davis Group, Steppenwolf, Toto, and the Knack. That's the Miller Genuine Draft ultimate doubleheader concert presented by 99.9 FM KISW tomorrow night. For tickets, call 622-HITS. Should be fun tomorrow night. 0-1 on Canseco. Jose 2 for 3. A single, a double, a run batted in, and a run scored, and a stolen base. The guy can still run. 0-2 on Jose.
When Jose's healthy, he can do a lot of things. And that's been the big story for him this year, why his numbers are up to a level they haven't been at for the last few years. 34 home runs.
I want to say hi to a little friend of mine who is getting healthier by the minute. Here's the pitch to Jose, down and away for ball 1, 1-2. 9-year-old James Merchant is in the hospital in Spokane, and I had a chance to visit with James earlier this afternoon. He had recent surgery. He's been in the hospital for a while. Here's a swing and a fly ball into the gap in right center field. Another extra base hit for Canseco. Buhner up with the ball. Jose in at second base with a 1-out double, his 3rd base hit tonight, and the 12th for the Blue Jays. But I know James is watching the telecast tonight from his hospital room. He's only 9 years of age. He had recent surgery. He's been in the hospital for about 11 days now, and he's going to be getting out hopefully on Saturday. So James, on behalf of all the Mariners and Billy and myself and Dave and Ron Fairley, we want to wish you all the best, young man, and get well soon. Get out of the hospital, go on back home, and I know you're going to be just fine. So James Merchant, 9 years of age. Take care of yourself, buddy, and we'll see you here at the Kingdom real soon.
Absolutely. Get home and be a kid.
Yeah.
Get back to play and have fun.
Greatest thing in the world, that's being a kid. Carlos Delgado takes a strike on 1. Just want to say hi to my buddy, 9-year-old James Merchant. By the way, James is a good pitcher, Bill, just like you. He told me today that he had a lot of strikeouts and he can play the outfield too and shortstop. He'll be back out there real soon. Here's the pitch to Delgado. Check swing. Did he go? He did not, and the count is even on Delgado at 1-1. So James Merchant, hello, buddy. Hi to your mom and dad as well. Delgado, a 2-run single and a run scored in the 1st. He is fly to left, hit by a pitch in the 4th.
Carlos has been thumping the Mariners pretty good this year and has kept it going this series.
Outside, ball 2, 2-1. And the Blue Jays brought their hitting shoes to Seattle.
Oh, yes, they did. And it hasn't been easy for veteran Billy Swift on the mound, and he is really taking it for the team. He is sucking up innings right now that normally he would not be doing.
Popped up into shallow left field toward the line. Rob Ducey is there, plenty of time, and he makes the catch. 2 outs. Well, right after the ball game tonight, it's Fox Sports News Primetime. All the scores, all the stories, all the action from your hometown teams. 7 nights a week. We are there. Fox Sports News Primetime. Following the game on Fox Sports Northwest. Primetime. A little Sam Donaldson.
Good.
Here's J.Cruz Jr. Jose 1 for 3. Oh, and 1 the count. Jose saying, what was that pitch? What?
He's still learning the strike zone. It's part of the maturation of a good hitter. Jose is on his way to being a great hitter.
Ground ball right to A-Rod. And Cruz is out number 3, and that's it for the Blue Jays. After 5.5 innings of play, Blue Jays lead 7-0.
How many tires does it take to celebrate this match?
Jays lead 7-0, bottom of the 6th. John Marzano will lead things off against his buddy Roger Clemens. These guys became friends in Boston some years ago when Johnny first came up with the Red Sox.
A friendly rivalry, I would say. Once you get between those white lines, though, there's no more friends.
Done. Swing and a miss, and the count is 0-2.
A rare curveball from Roger Clemens. And one thing you're going to notice about Roger's evening, he's had a very efficient game. He hasn't struck out a lot of guys, and that's by purpose. He's trying to keep the game moving. He doesn't need to strike people out.
Swing and a miss. He fans John Marzano, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Clemens in this ball game. 1 out, and that'll bring up left fielder Rob Ducey. Hey, kids, go back to school in style when the Mariners take on the White Sox this Saturday at 6:05. The first 15,000 kids receive a cool Mariners backpack, courtesy of Long's Drugstores, Pepsi, and Cairo 710. Good seats are still available. For tickets, call 622-HITS. That's right, school just around the corner. Rob Ducey, fastball, strike at the knees, 0-1.
Rob was Lou's choice in left field this evening because he felt like he had the best handle on a hard, high-throwing fastball pitcher like Roger Clemens.
Ball 1, 1-1.
A little more experience, has seen Roger before, where a guy like Shane Monahan has never faced Roger, or as far as I know.
Clemens, his 3rd start against the Mariners this year. Back up the middle into center field. Rob Ducey with a base hit. Only the 2nd for the Mariners tonight off of the Rocket Man. A 1-out single for Ducey.
And there's the real key of hitting off a high fastball pitcher like Roger Clemens. You got to get him down the zone, much like what we talked about last night with Pat Hinkett. Fastball down and away. Ducey likes the ball down, stays down through this ball, drives it up the middle for the 2nd hit off Clemens.
Ducey on at first base with 1 away for 2nd baseman Joey Cora. Ground ball right side, and that sneaks into right field. A base hit for Joey Cora. Down to 2nd goes Ducey. So back-to-back singles for Ducey and Cora. He's trying to chip away at that 7-0 Blue Jay lead. So Joey Cora with a base hit. He's only 1 hit away from 1,000 in his big league career. So
and a fine career that Joey Cora has fashioned. A guy that's worked really hard. Not a super talent, but a guy that's worked hard at his craft and become a very, very good major league player over the years.
So that was career base hit number 999. Right-hander Jose Paniagua beginning to warm up down to the bullpen. Alex Rodriguez takes ball 1. A-Rod 0 for 2 has bounced out to the catcher Fletcher and struck out his last time up in the 4th. Well, what a year for this kid. A-Rod batting .311, 36 home runs, and 102 runs batted in. Got a piece of the outside corner, says home plate umpire Mike Everett. 1-1.
very interesting to see the cat and mouse game that's being played between Alex Rodriguez. That's a slider away. The last 2 times up, it was high fastballs away and split fingers. This at bat, 2 sliders.
Down and away, ball 2, 2-1.
And this is where a power guy like Clemens, understanding the game, challenges people out over the plate, gets a couple guys on base. Now he's going to change. He's going to dial it up a notch and start working a little bit differently than he has prior to this.
Ducey and Cora aboard, second and first. Outside again, ball 3, 3-1. A bad one here would load him up for Jr. But A-Rod may get a pitch to drive, and he can use the entire field. He'll hit the ball well to right. Junior's on deck.
And Alex buys himself a lot of hits because he can really run. He gets out of the box, plus he runs so hard to first base.
The 3-1 pitch. Fouled out of play on the first base side, full count.
See what I mean? Rogers been throwing the ball 94, 95, maybe 96 miles an hour. That fastball 98 miles an hour.
He can dial it up when he wants to reach back a little something extra.
You're going to have a couple moments in every ball game, 2 or 3 situations in every game that you win where you've got to work out of a jam. And this is Rogers' first jam.
Roger Clemens and Alex Rodriguez met at home plate last year in a collision. And A-Rod suffered the bruised side that affected his season. Dropped down, and A-Rod fouls it away. How about that? Roger Clemens dropping down by way of that third base line, showing A-Rod a different angle.
That's not something you'll see very often from Roger Clemens. I can't think of a time I've seen him do that. But when you got a guy of Rodriguez's ability at the plate and he's hitting over 400 against you, it's time to invent every once in a while, I guess.
Once in a while you have to reach into the old bag of tricks. A .414 hitter. A-Rod against Clemens. 7-0 Blue Jays, bottom of the 6th. Again, the 3-2. Back up the middle, off of Clemens to Fernandez. He'll go to second, and it's in time to get Joey. Holy smoke, that ball hit Clemens. The ball took a 90-degree angle bounce right to Fernandez at third base, and he had time to go to second to get the force there on Joey Cora at 2 outs.
That's certainly a bad piece of luck. Split finger right down the middle, and Alex lines it right off his instep. Unfortunately, the ball caroons or right over to Tony Fernandez, who makes a quick throw to second base to get the force. A very close play.
Right off the left foot of Roger Clemens. So Alex Rodriguez safe at first base on a 1-5-4 fielder's choice. Over to third goes Rob Ducey. 2 on, 2 outs. Ducey at third. Here's Junior. So Clemens gets credit for a kick save. Otherwise, that ball is into center field for a base hit. Swing and a miss by Junior. 0-1.
And all those fans north of the border can definitely relate to that, Rick.
Yeah. Got it out of the crease and away from the net. I'm done as far as hockey now, Bill.
That's it, huh?
That's it, baby.
About like me.
There goes Alex inside the pitch to Junior, and A-Rod is in at second base unchallenged as the count is even on Griffey at 1 ball and 1 strike. The infield was back. They weren't concerned with A-Rod.
That's a good play. It takes away the force and gets 2 in scoring position for K.Griffey Jr.
On the outside corner, 1 and 2.
There's that hard split finger that Rogers developed most recently the last couple years. That's really made him back to being the most dominating right-hander in the American League.
Ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jr. 0 for 2, twice flying out to Cruz in center field.
But basically, as Roger Clemens goes, Ken Griffey Jr. has owned Roger Clemens in his career. He's hit over 400 with, I believe, 6 home runs.
It's always a good matchup right here between these two guys. Outside, ball 3, full count 3-2. Roger Clemens, winner of 4 Cy Young Awards. Won his 4th last year. On deck, Edgar Martinez. 2 on, 2 outs. Fouled away behind home plate. Steal 3-2.
Roger hung that split finger a little bit, but the ball was far enough away from Kenny that he really couldn't do anything with it but foul it back.
Junior steps back in to face Clemens. Griffey leads the American League in home runs with 42. Strike 3 called on the outside corner to retire the side. Clemens with strikeout number 4. We go to the top of the 7th inning. It's the Blue Jays 7 and the Mariners nothing.
Airlines offering fares so low you have the freedom to fly. Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Seattle Mariners. By Eagle Hardware and Garden, more of everything. By U.S. West, so you are always connected to what matters to you most. U.S. West, proud sponsor of the year 2000 Olympics. Life's better here. And by Miller Genuine Draft, to remind you it's time for a good old macro.
Here we go to the top of the 7th inning. Blue Jays 7, the Mariners nothing. We have a new pitcher for the Mariners. Right-hander Jose Paniagua will take over in relief. Paniagua made his Mariner debut in last night's ball game. Just called up from AAA Tacoma.
And there you see his numbers down in Tacoma. Very respectable. 44 games, a 3-1 record with a 2.77 ERA.
Tony Fernandez leading off the inning. A swing and a foul back. 0-1.
Had his debut as a Mariner last night. Through an inning, gave up a run on 2 scratch hits, an infield hit and a jam shot. He threw the ball well, Rick. I mean, 95-mile-an-hour fastball. And the big thing was you liked his body language, his demeanor. He went after people. He wasn't intimidated.
Good live arm. His fastball moves. A nice job down at AAA Tacoma. The last few years has been up and down with the Expos. 0-2 on Fernandez. Mariners picked him up during the spring, at the tail end of the spring, off waivers, off the Tampa Bay Devil Rays roster. Tony Fernandez, 0 for 2, has grounded out twice. Swing and a miss at a fastball, so Paniagua strikes out Tony Fernandez.
Much of the same of what we saw last night. And confidence grows with success. Here's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball in the inner half that Fernandez has no chance at.
Man, you really got to root for this kid right here. He suffered a personal tragedy during the offseason. Last November, his 21-year-old wife died of a heart attack.
Is that hard to believe?
His wife, Susie, passed away at the age of only 21. Fouled back by Darren Fletcher. The count is 0-1.
Left behind 2 little kids.
Yeah, daughter
he's taken care of.
2 daughters, 3 and 2. I really pull for this kid. On his cap, on his glove, on his shoes, he writes his wife's name, Susie. Fouled back by Fletcher, and the count is 0-2. Gordon Whitmire of the Eastside Journal wrote a very heartfelt story about Paniagua and the loss of his 21-year-old wife last November. Jose said, every time that the ball is in my hand, I think about my wife.
That'll make you focus.
Line drive right at Seguin. He makes the catch. 2 outs for the Blue Jays here in the 7th inning. Says I put her name everywhere. Even has it stitched in gold on his glove. His wife's name is on his shoes, on his cap, on his glove, his T-shirt. There it is right there, Susie, right on his shoe.
Well, true love is forever. And
You bet.
It's certainly forever for Jose.
Holy cow. What a story. Fly ball by Graybeck. Shallow right center field. Jr. cutting across. Can't get there. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Jr. coming over to his left. Jay Buhner coming in. And it's a bloop single for Craig Graybeck.
Didn't look like Jay saw that ball. Didn't get a good jump. I really wasn't watching Jay. I was watching Kenny, but I don't think Jay got a good jump off the bat or read this ball at all.
If he picks it up off the bat, which he usually does, he's going to make the catch.
We're talking one of the best right fielders in baseball. Jay Buhner.
1 on 2 outs. Alex Gonzalez, the shortstop, inside of that, hit him. So Alex Gonzalez gets aboard, hit by a pitch from Paniagua. On to second goes Graybeck. 2 on and 2 outs.
Great opportunity for this young man to make a real big step with this Mariner ball club, who you've got to say are searching for help in the bullpen.
Here's Shannon Stewart, who is 2 for 4. A single and a double, 2 runs scored, and a stolen base. Ball 1. Timeout is called. David Segui out toward the mound to have a talk with Paniagua. Jose taking over from Billy Swift here in the 7th inning. Billy went 6 innings.
And although his numbers were pretty ugly, and I'm sure Billy's not happy about tonight's game, the Blue Jays really swung the bat well, but those 2 scoreless innings he put up are real bullpen savers, and they're going to help the club down the road the rest of the week.
Lou went to the pen 5 times in last night's game, won by the Blue Jays 16-2. Popped up and out of play on the first base side by Stewart. 1 ball and 1 strike. The numbers for Billy Swift: 6 innings, gave up 12 hits, 7 runs, all earned, a couple of walks and a couple of strikeouts.
Most young pitchers would have crumbled after the first 2 innings, but Billy hung in there and kept the club. Well, I couldn't say they really kept the club in the game, but filled a lot of innings, and that's important for the bullpen. The bullpen's gotten a lot of work over the last couple of games.
Mariners have a big 4-game series coming up here at the end of the homestand against the White Sox. Little tapper up the first base side. Paniagua has it. Underhands to Segui at the bag for the out on Shannon Stewart to retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 2 are left on. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Jays lead 7-0. The 7th inning stretch brought to you all season by today's manufactured homes.
Until today, the Browns only imagined a home like this.
Jays behind the pitching of Roger Clemens. Bottom of the 7th inning. Edgar Martinez leads it off and takes ball 1. Clemens has given up only 3 hits in this game. Edgar 0 for 2 has bounced out twice. He'll be followed by David Segui and then Jay Buhner. Off the end of the bat, foul on the first base side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, the Mariners have had a rough time against these Blue Jays over the last week. In Toronto on the last road trip, the Mariners lost both games of a 2-game series at Skydome. 11-5 and 7-4. Lost last night 16-2. Down the line. That is a foul ball. Edgar Martinez fouls it away, and the count is still a ball and 2 strikes. Here's the flight of the baseball down by the Mariner bullpen. Foul. Edgar's so good at usually keeping that ball fair down that left field line, but this time a little out in front of the pitch.
Well, it's tougher when you face a guy like Clemens, who throws the ball upwards to 98 miles an hour, and he throws you a 77-mile-an-hour slider or curveball. It's tough to stay back.
Down low for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Chicago White Sox in town tomorrow night for the opening game of a 4-game series. Jeff Facero against James Baldwin tomorrow in game 1. 3-2 on Edgar.
Interesting to watch how Clemens changes his patterns against these big Mariner hitters, and you know they've seen one another over and over the years, and Clemens has had a tough time with the Mariners over the last couple years.
Got him on a fastball, swing and a miss, strike 3, 1 away. Strikeout number 5 for Clemens. Here's a look at the ERA leaders in the American League. Pedro Martinez of Boston, 2.82 ERA. There's Clemens at 2.95, and Chuck Finley of the Angels with a 3.01 ERA. So Roger Clemens, who came into this ballgame with a 3.05 ERA, is now under 3.
He's thrown the ball really good since the All-Star break, and he's also benefiting from a better defense. The club that they had on the field earlier this year prior to those trades was not the best, and they've shored that up. Faster outfield, Grayback at second base, and Fernandez at third. Things have really tightened up defensively for the Jays.
0-1 the count on David Segui. J.Cruz Jr. really playing well since his recall from AAA Syracuse at the end of July. High and outside, ball 1, 1-1 in the trades of veterans. Juan Guzman to Baltimore, Ed Sprague to Oakland, Randy Myers was picked up on waivers by San Diego, Mike Stanley to Boston. They picked up basically minor league prospects in those deals. The only guy with a major league experience was A.Rodriguez coming over from Baltimore in the Guzman trade. Here's a look at the trades, and also Tony Phillips.
They certainly got younger. They got some more prospects, and they opened up a lot of cash to make some moves for next season.
Especially with the Randy Myers deal. And fouled away, and it's 1-2.
Talking to some of the Blue Jay officials, they're real pleased with that trade. They didn't feel that Myers' stuff was as it was the year before, and think that he may be on the decline, even though he saved 25 games. That's going to open up a lot of, was that $11 million out of the $14 million that they were scheduled to pay him?
Yeah, the Padres have to pick up the rest of Randy's contract.
A little game of chicken, perhaps, that with Atlanta, that maybe perhaps San Diego lost.
San Diego.
Only time will tell.
Because Atlanta was looking for a closer. Mark Wohlers still hasn't found the strike zone yet. Their closer the last few years. Up and in on Segui, ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Wohlers is really struggling. Has the Steve Blast disorder. Can't find home plate.
What happens to a pitcher like that? Where all of a sudden I mean, not only can't find the strike zone, but can't even get the ball up to home plate. Swing and a miss by Segui. Make it a foul ball. Got a piece of it. Still 2-2.
You're going into the realm of the mind that I don't really want to go into. I didn't get to when I was pitching. I couldn't afford to. I mean, I needed to be on top of my game, and I couldn't imagine not being able to throw strikes. 99
pitches for Roger Clemens. Boy, that had to be frustrating for Wohlers, and it still is. He's still trying to find it down at AAA Richmond. Fouled back by Segui, and the count is still 3-2 on David.
It was interesting watching the story and hearing some of the staff talk about his problems and him talk about his problems. And the interesting comment I thought came from Dennis Martinez. He said, hey, you've got to look at your mechanics and you've got to make some changes rather than thinking all about the mental side, that maybe it has a lot to do with physically what you're doing on the mound. I think that's the proper approach myself. Make a change. Make an adjustment.
Go to the videotapes. Take a look at what you were doing when things were going well, what's going wrong, and find out what you can fix. The 3-2 to Segui. Well hit down the line, but he pulls it foul in toward the corner. It's still 3-2. A lot of it has to do too. Of course, I've never been there, but you were for years. Just plain old confidence, getting out there and getting the job done and getting your confidence back.
Well, confidence comes with repetition and solid mechanics, and you build on that, and then things start falling in place. I mean, obviously you've got to be mentally tough, because you got to be mentally tough to play the game, or you won't survive.
In the dirt, ball 4. The ball squirts away from the catcher, Darren Fletcher. That's a second walk given up by Roger Clemens. 1 on, 1 away. Say, friends, next Saturday, August the 29th, the college football season begins with a bang. D'Angelo Evans leads the defending national champs as the Cornhuskers kick off the post-Tom Osborne era. It's the Eddie Robinson Classic, Louisiana Tech against Nebraska. August the 29th, live at 1 o'clock right here on Fox Sports Northwest. Love college football.
Right around the corner.
University of Washington getting ready. The Washington State Cougars as well. It's going to be a fun season for both football teams. Here's Jay Buhner. Strike on the outside corner, 0-1. I had a chance to do a couple of Washington football games for Fox late last fall. That was a lot of fun.
A lot of numbers.
Yeah.
But you did a great job. I heard some of that. You sounded like you've been doing it your whole life.
Oh, yeah. Buhner with a high fly ball left field. Underneath it is Shannon Stewart. And he makes the catch for out number 2. I just got out of Sonny Six Killer's way. Describe the play. Let Sonny take over. 1 on 2 outs, bottom of the 7th inning. Blue Jays lead 7-0. That'll bring up third baseman Russ Davis. And of course, there was the big Apple Cup game between the Huskies and the Cougars. Russ 0 for 2 has grounded out twice, once into a double play. Ball 1.
Russ has had his troubles in the field, but offensively he has done a solid job. Doesn't have near the at-bats of some of the other Mariners, yet has 71 RBIs in less than 400 at-bats. That's some pretty good production.
Tried to check his swing, but he went after it. The appeal down to the first base umpire, Larry McCoy. 1 ball and 1 strike. Blue Jays 7 runs, 13 hits. Mariners no runs, only 3 hits. Ground ball is short. Gonzalez is there. Little underhand flip to Graybeck for the force at second on David Segui to retire the side. We go to the 8th inning. Blue Jays lead 7-0. Let's take a look at what's coming your way tonight on Fox Sports News following our game. For that, we take you to the Fox Network Center.
Gillette presents
New England Patriots right here on Fox Sports Net.
Blue Jays lead by a score of 7-0. We have a new pitcher for the Mariners. Right-hander Heathcliff Slocum will work the 8th inning.
Heathcliff's numbers this year have not been pretty. He's 2-4 with a 6.52 ERA in 42 ball games. Walked 34 guys in 48 innings. However, Rick, you dug up some numbers on how he's pitched over the last few weeks.
Yeah, since July the 4th, he has appeared in 13 ball games. Low and inside on Sean Green for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. In 13 appearances since then, he's given up only runs in 2 of those 13 games. Swing and a miss by Green, 2 balls and a strike. And over his last 13 appearances, Slocum has a 1.92 ERA.
Hopefully Heathcliff, who is a second-half pitcher, can keep building on this. And I think one of the secrets of his success is the fact he's throwing his fastball more.
Line foul. Green really turns on it, fouls it away down the right field side. 2-2. Yeah, this kid can hit.
A lot of tools. A guy that can really run and hit for power. Quite a find for the Toronto Blue Jays.
Fouls it away. No, it gets away. Not a foul ball, just gets away from Marzano. The throw to first, and safe over at first base is Sean Green. So it'll go in the book as a strikeout for Slocum. However, they can rule that either a wild pitch or a pass ball that allows Green to reach safely.
There's a fork ball from Heathcliff that just dives low and away, and Marzi couldn't handle it. Ball goes all the way to the backstop, and Sean Green is able to advance to first base.
1 on, nobody out. Here's designated hitter Jose Canseco. Ball 1.
Look at Jose. He's a man of 1,000 stances. Gone back to the open stance, which we haven't seen in this series so far, where he opens that front leg up a la Jay Buhner.
Inside ball 2, 2-0.
Interesting watching Jose take VP today. He really struggled the first game of the series, and really hitting the ball the other way. It was hitting balls way up in the seats in right center. Of course, this ball game, he hit a double in right center.
Big swing and a miss. 2-1 on Jose. Canseco gets his old number back, number 33. That was worn by Juan Guzman, but after the trade of Guzman to Baltimore, a chance to get it back. He was wearing number 44. Swing and a miss. 2-2. That's always special to a ball player, especially if he's been around for a long time, to get that number wherever you go.
And he's known for number 33. I think you see 33, you think of Jose Canseco. And he's done a lot of damage in his career. Now he's what, number 33 on the home run list, I believe, or number 34.
He's getting up there.
Yeah, he's
popped up. In behind third base, foul territory. Russ Davis with plenty of room. He's got it. One away. Well, friends, time now for the question for tonight's Northwest Dodge Dealers Mariner Trivia question. We didn't have a pregame show before the ball game, so here's the question. Name the last player to advance directly to the major leagues without having started or returned to the minor leagues. We'll give you the answer and the winner announced later on in the ball game. Or you can email your answers to the show, foxsports.net. One on, one away for first baseman Carlos Delgado. Ball one.
Delgado has really come in to his own this year. Last year had a breakout season and now is upped his RBI numbers to 88 this year after missing a month, recovering from shoulder surgery.
He had the surgery back on January the 19th. Ground ball, foul up the first base side. 2-1.
He's averaged 27 homers over the last 2 years, hit 30 last year. And really, he's got a tremendous upside. The guy is really strong. He's just still learning the strike zone.
I think you're going to see a kid like this, and he has been around a long time, get into the 40 and the 50 range and stay there consistently. On a hop off Segui out toward the shortstop Rodriguez. The throw back to David, and safe at first base is Delgado. I mean, that was a shot to Segui at first base. It ricocheted off of Segui out towards second base, where Alex Rodriguez cutting across was able to get to it. Down to second goes Green. Delgado is safe at first base. Here it is one more time.
You think you're safe when you're playing back at first base? Well, you're not. That ball hit him right on the kneecap. And David Segui is a very sure-handed first baseman. That ball was smoked.
David's been banged up a few times this year, but it hasn't slowed him down. A foul ball off his foot, knee problems, and that one off his right knee.
I've really been impressed with David Segui's resolve, his toughness. He wants to be in the lineup every day, get his hacks.
Here's J.Cruz Jr. 1 for 4 with a home run. Ball one. Segui had to sit out the 4-game series in Chicago, or excuse me, in Detroit, to start off the last road trip because of the sore knee, and came back in the 2-game series in Toronto. He's been very reliable all season long, offensively and defensively. Nobody better at first base. Nobody. $7-0 Blue Jays. Popped up. David Segui out toward the mound, gets there, and he makes the catch. 2 outs. Hey, friends, coming out to the Kingdome this Sunday afternoon at 1:35 as the Mariners take on the White Sox in the first. 20,000 fans receive an Alex Rodriguez poster courtesy of Eagle Hardware and Garden. This full color poster is the 5th of 6 Mariner posters that fit together to form a Mariners heavy hitters montage. Good seats are still available. For tickets, call 622-HITS. 2 on, 2 outs for third baseman Tony Fernandez. Inside. Blue Jays back-to-back World Series titles in '92 and '93. Ground ball foul. 1-1. Joe Carter hit one of the biggest home runs in baseball history in Game 6 of the World Series. Home run to win the series off of Mitch Williams to beat the Philadelphia Phillies. What a thrill.
Can't beat that. Last, what, it was the 6th game of the World Series where you hit the home run and it's all over with. You've won the World Series. You can't beat that.
3-run home run. Ricky Henderson was aboard. Paul Molitor had a base hit. And then Joe Carter hit a home run into the Blue Jays bullpen. Fans in Toronto went wild.
Huge for a guy like Paul Molitor, having a chance to win a World Series in his illustrious career. What a career he's had. I had the opportunity to play with him in Milwaukee as one of the best players that I had the opportunity to play with in my career.
Great guy. Future Hall of Famer.
No question.
Smartest player. 3,000 hits.
Smartest player I ever played with, by far.
Good fastball hitter.
Not bad.
Tony Fernandez takes a look at ball 2, 2 balls and a strike, and was the MVP of the World Series, 93 for Toronto. Ball 3, 3-1.
Speaking of great players, this guy at the plate, Tony Fernandez, was some kind of shortstop. We talk about Ordonez and Vizquel and Jeter and Rodriguez. Well, this guy back in the early 80s was the shortstop. Won some Gold Gloves. I think he won 4 straight. And he had a lot of range.
Full count on Tony. Later on in his last few years with the Yankees and with the Indians, playing a lot over at second base. In '94, when he was with the Reds, it's the last time he played third base with Barry Larkin at short. Now he's back at third. Little one hopper out to Alex. Fires the first in time to get Tony Fernandez for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Blue Jays lead 7-0. Lead by a score of 7-0. Time now for Al's Auto Supply presents Whatever It Takes. Great efforts in Marinette baseball, presented by K.Griffey Jr. right here May the 18th against R.Clemens at Sky Dome. An opposite field home run May the 18th. K.Griffey Jr. going deep the other way, his 6th career home run against the Rocket Man.
That was part of the big whooping that the Mariners put on Roger. Dropped a 9 spot in 5 innings on him. Probably one of the worst games he's ever had in his career.
Marzano pops one up shallow right center field. Green and Cruz. Cruz and Green. Cruz makes the catch. One out for the Mariners here in the 8th. Mr. Clemens is doing some fancy pitching tonight. Only 5 strikeouts. I say only 5 because Clemens usually averages about what almost a strikeout per inning.
Yeah, he struck out what, 185 in 171 innings, so it's over a strikeout an inning coming into this ball game. So his 6 strikeouts in the 7+ innings he's thrown is a little behind his normal pace, but I think it has a lot to do with the style of game. He gets a big lead, he goes out and challenges people. You saw what he did when he needed to. He tiled it up a notch that 1 inning. I believe that was the 6th inning where he had to make some pitches and struck out Junior to end the inning.
Rob Ducey works the count to 2 balls and no strikes. Rob has one of the few hits off of Clemens tonight. A single to center. He's 1 for 2. 2-1 the count on Rob. I think this is the most that I've seen Clemens throw a breaking ball in any start against the Mariners in his career.
He has really shown a wide assortment of pitches. We've seen the split finger right there in the high 80s. We've seen the high riding fastball up to 98 miles an hour. We've seen the slider, the true slider, in the mid 80s. We've seen a curveball in the mid 70s. We even saw a sidearm fastball.
Yeah, to Alex. Showed him a little different look there.
Yeah, he's truly a complete pitcher.
Fouled away, still 2-2. Mike Timlin warming up down in the bullpen. Man, what a job he's done since the All-Star break. Really all season long, but especially since the break when he took over as the closer. Strike 3 called. Rob Ducey backing away, spinning away from a pitch, but it's called strike 3 by home plate umpire Mike Everett. 2 outs. Roger Clemens, one of 5 pitchers in Major League Baseball history to win back-to-back Cy Young Awards. Sandy Koufax, Denny McLain, Jimmy Palmer, Greg Maddux, Roger Clemens in that group. Future Hall of Famer, you bet. He's won 4 Cy Young Awards, including last year when he went 21-7 for the Blue Jays, up high on Joey Cora, ball 1.
Only two other guys have done that. That's Greg Maddux and Steve Carlton.
What a career. Joey with 999 career base hits. Fastball for a strike at the knees, 1-1. 1 hit away from his 1,000th. He had a base hit in the right field. That was 999 in the 6th inning. Breaking ball is up, ball 2, 2-1. So his next base hit is going to be a real special souvenir. Joey 1 for 2. There's a little 6-game hitting streak going. He's also hit safely in 10 of his last 12. High and outside, ball 3, 3-1.
Has done a nice job of being more patient, working the count a little bit more, and he's been hitting the ball the other way a little bit more too.
Fastball, strike called in the outside corner, full count, 3-2. See if Joey gets base hit number 1,000 right here. Fly ball to Jose Cruz. It'll have to wait for another at bat. Cruz makes the catch for out number 3. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Blue Jays lead 7-0.
Melissa, something.
All right, time now for the answer to the baseball trivia question tonight. Name the last player to advance directly to the major leagues without having started in or returned to the minor leagues. The answer, John Olerud, back in 1989. He came right out of Washington State to the big leagues with these Toronto Blue Jays. Tonight's winner, Jeff Oden from Portland. Watch Mariners warm up tomorrow for more baseball trivia, brought to you by your Northwest Dodge dealers. John Olerud. I think John is one of about 17 players to come right out of the draft right to the big leagues.
Pretty amazing.
There's Mike Timlin to work the top of the 9th inning. His number is 1-3 record, 10 saves and a 2.90 ERA. 8 saves since the All-Star break.
Yeah, he's been absolutely rock solid since the All-Star break, and it really has solidified the closer role for the Mariners. Possesses a 94, 95 mile an hour sinker with a nice tight slider to go with it, and Mike's pitching with a lot of confidence.
Working against his former teammates, Timlin will face Darren Fletcher, Craig Graybeck, and Alex Gonzalez. 7-0, Blue Jays lead.
This is not a close situation, but Mike needs to get some work in. He can't go too many days without throwing, so the Mariners are giving him an opportunity to get an inning in of work.
White Sox in town tomorrow night for the opening game of the 4-game series. Ground ball up the line right there. David Segui, and gets Fletcher unassisted. 1 away for Toronto. White Sox playing in Oakland tonight, bottom of the 8th inning. Oakland leading Chicago by a score of 3-1.
One of the problems that Mike ran into early in his career in Toronto is he was too concerned with the radar gun, and I think now he's learned that it's just a matter of executing pitches and getting the ball in good location, letting his good stuff work, and don't worry what the gun says.
He'll face second baseman Craig Graybeck. Ball 1. Yeah, I guess it's nice if you can throw a baseball 98 miles an hour, but it's more important to have location and movement.
And sometimes I would bet that there'll be days when Mike doesn't feel as good, and because of that, his ball may move more.
Called away. 1-1 on Graybeck. Little guy is 1 for 4 tonight with a bloop single into shallow right center field in the 7th inning. He has 4 hits in this 2-game series. He had 5 hits in the 2-game series recently in Toronto. On a play, 1-2. One guy who's got to be happy with all the production offensively for these Blue Jays. His new hitting coach, Gary Matthews, Sarge Matthews. I had a chance to visit with Sarge before the ball game, talking about last night's success.
And he's got a lot to share with these young Blue Jay hitters, and they should listen very closely to Sarge. He's got a great idea about how to hit in the big leagues. He did a pretty good job of it in his career.
He broke it down to, I think, the common denominator. He said we got our pitches and we didn't miss them. I had the 7 home runs last night, 21 hits, 16 runs. That guy was a pretty doggone good hitter. Right to Joey at second base. Graybeck is out number 2. Say, friends, put your excess knowledge of sports, facts, stats, and players to the test on the Ultimate Fan League. Fox Sports Net's brand new game show. If you want to be a contestant, call 1-888-448-4UFL. I want to be a contestant. Sounds like a lot of fun. Want to be a contestant, Bill?
Sure.
We do great. Let's go as a team. 2 outs, nobody on. Alex Gonzalez, a swing and a miss. 0-1.
Real nice slider right there from Mike Timlin. I think if anything I've seen of him over the year plus that he's been with the Mariners, he had a tendency to want to pound every right-hander inside. Now you're seeing that slider away. Very effective.
Good pitch. There it is on the outside corner. 0-2 on Gonzalez.
And when he can do that, he's going to be pretty difficult because his fastball upwards of 95 mile an hour with so much movement.
Timlin just 2 years ago, the closer for the Blue Jays, saved 31 games, fouled back by Gonzalez, still 0-2. Then last year lost that job to rookie Kelvin Escobar, and Escobar now in recent weeks with a start for the Blue Jays. He started against the Mariners in Toronto.
Has had 3 terrific starts. They really love him. He looks like Juan Guzman all over again. Mid-90s fastball with a nasty forkball. Couldn't handle the load that he was getting in the bullpen. His elbow was starting to bark on him, and so they moved him into the rotation, and looks like a pretty shrewd move on the part of the Blue Jays.
They got a couple of young kids in the rotation now. Chris Carpenter has been pitching very well for him, and now they have Escobar, and of course they have the veterans, and they have that guy warming up down in the bullpen, Paul Quantrill.
And Quantrill's more of a setup guy, but being pushed into that closer role by the loss of Randy Myers.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Gonzalez goes down swinging to retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Blue Jays lead 7-0.
Hello from Plank Road Field with a guy.
Hey, you tried that new seafood place downtown?
Quiet, man. I'm trying to concentrate.
Oh, man. You gotta swing it back. Told you.
The Seattle Mariners. You gotta love these guys.
Put a little something extra on that one.
Today's $1 Million Baseball Magic winners will receive either a 36-inch RCA home theater with TV guide plus on-screen program guide. RCA, changing entertainment again. A Remington Swirl Shaver for women and a men's Intercept Shaver with Intercept Cutting Bar. Remington for a close, complete shave. The Kodak Advantage 4700 IX zoom camera with drop-in film loading. Kodak, take pictures further. Or a set of 6 Infinity edge knives from Regent Sheffield. Superior performance knives that stay sharp for a lifetime. To enter, pick up your $1 Million Baseball Magic ballot at Safeway today.
Tom Glasgow with your U.S. West update. A Little League World Series playoff berth up for grabs. Woodinville, Washington taking on Cypress, California. Tied at 1, bottom of the 8th. That's extra innings in Little League Baseball. Matt swims at the plate for Cypress. Goes deep to right center field. That's the ball game. Woodinville comes up short in its bid to go to Williamsport.
Bottom of the 9th inning. Blue Jays lead 7-0. Alex Rodriguez takes a Roger Clemens pitch high, ball 1. Clemens trying to go all the way tonight. He has a couple of complete games to his credit this season. He'll face Alex and then Junior and then Edgar Martinez. Popped up. Shallow right center, backpedaling the second baseman Graybeck to make the catch. 1 out for the Mariners here in the 9th. Clemens looking for the shutout win. Roger Clemens with 41 career shutouts among active pitchers in the major leagues. Dennis Martinez has 30. Greg Maddux with 28. Hershiser 25 and Doc Gooden with 24. Roger Clemens with 41 shutouts.
He is the big horse. When you get close to the barn after being out in the field, he can smell that fresh hay. He wants to finish this baby out.
Junior is hitless in 3 tries, takes a pitch way up high, ball 1. Mariners with only 3 hits tonight.
Yeah, he's been pretty tough, and considering the fact that he struggled against the Mariners, this is a pretty impressive performance by Roger Clemens.
Popped up and out of play on the third base side, and the count is even on Junior. And 1-1. Roger Clemens set the Major League standard for strikeouts in a 9-inning ball game against the Mariners late April of 1986 when he fanned 20. And then 10 years later, 1996, he does it again. He struck out 20 Detroit Tigers. Kerry Wood of the Chicago Cubs, the rookie phenom, struck out 20 this year against the Houston Astros to match Clemens' Major League mark. Up and in, ball 2, 2-1.
It's a real testament to how hard Rogers worked his whole career to take care of his body. Stayed strong and is able to continue to be a power pitcher into his mid to late 30s.
Bounce foul up the first base side by the dugout for the Blue Jays. 2-2 on Griffey.
And Rogers shown in this 9th inning he still has plenty of juice left. He's hit 96 miles, 97 miles an hour this inning.
Watching a future Hall of Famer right here, Roger Clemens, with 227 career wins. In tight on Junior, ball 3, full count, 3-2.
Another example of what Rogers able to do with the baseball. There's a 2-seam fastball which he's featured. He throws the 4-seamer up in the strike zone. He can take and swing that 2-seamer back over the inside corner as he attempted with K.Griffey Jr.
Chopped over the mound in behind second, Gonzalez, but he gets Junior over at first base for out number 2. Well, time now for tonight's Magnolia Moment, courtesy of Magnolia Hi-Fi. David Segui leading off the bottom of the 5th inning. An infield base hit, chops it off the mound just like Junior. Cutting across Fernandez, and Segui safe at first base. That was the first base hit of this ball game against Roger Clemens. Tonight's Magnolia Moment. That's it because of the way Clemens has pitched. Mariners down to their final out. Edgar Martinez. Ball 1 as the pitch gets away from catcher Darren Fletcher. Clemens 1 out away from a shutout. One and one. Roger without a shutout this season.
Had 3 last year. He certainly hasn't needed the defense, but the defense has been a lot better for him of late. He went 4 months this year without a double play, and that has to take its toll on even a great strikeout pitcher like Roger Clemens.
2 outs, nobody on, bottom of the 9th. Blue Jays gave Clemens an early lead with 4 runs in the first inning. A strike on the outside corner, 1-2 on Edgar.
That pitch has really made Roger, I'll tell you. He was hitting the wall with that fastball slider. He developed that split finger. He throws it so hard. Now you can tell the hitters are really having a tough time with it.
A little low. Good eye by Edgar. Ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know a guy's throwing well. A guy like Edgar Martinez handles the bat so well, has really not had very many good swings against Roger Clemens this evening.
Roger shakes off one side and likes the next. The 2-2 on the way. Fly ball into shallow center field. J.Cruz Jr comes up. Cruz is there and he makes the catch. The ball game is over. Roger Clemens and the Blue Jays shut out the Mariners tonight 7-0. For the Rocket Man, his first shutout of the season and the 42nd in his future Hall of Fame career. Final score, the Blue Jays 7 and the Mariners nothing. The Blue Jays sweep the Mariners in the brief 2-game series. We'll be back with more from the Kingdome right after this timeout.
Rise and shine. Fox Sports News brings you the fastest half.
Fox Sports Northwest presents Seattle Mariners baseball. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines, offering fares so low you have the freedom to fly. Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the Seattle Mariners. By your Northwest Ford dealers, home of 5 of the 10 bestsellers in America. Again, by U.S. West, so you are always connected to what matters to you most. U.S. West, proud sponsor of the year 2000 Olympics. Life's better here. And by Miller Genuine Draft, who reminds you it's time for a good old mackerel brew.
I don't know what he's moving. Well, back here in the Kingdome, the Toronto Blue Jays win tonight a 7-0 3-hit shutout for Roger Clemens. Clemens goes to 15-6 on the year, his first shutout of the season, 42nd in his major league career. Billy Swift with a loss. Billy now with a record of 10-7. Hi again, everybody. Rick Riz along with Bill Kruger. And tonight, just too much the Rocket Man, Roger Clemens, Bill.
Unfortunately, you can't spot a pitcher like Roger Clemens 5-0 in this after 2 innings, and seem to watch him work.
He was outstanding tonight. He picks up win number 15. Coming into town tomorrow night, the Chicago White Sox, game 1 of a 4-game series. It'll be Jeff Fassero against James Baldwin. To Clemens, Roger Clemens, 42nd career shutout. You can't say enough about Roger at the age of 35. Still gets it done.
Tremendous power pitcher. Even at his age, he's just raising the level of what great pitchers will have to reach for as they come up to try to follow a Hall of Famer like Roger Clemens.
That wraps it up tonight from the Kingdome. Final score, the Toronto Blue Jays 7 and the Mariners nothing. We'll see you again tomorrow night when the Chicago White Sox come to town. The Mariners and the White Sox open a game of the series. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Mariners warm-up. You've been watching Mariner Baseball on Fox Sports Northwest, your regional home of Fox Sports Net. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Fox Sports News Primetime. For Dave Dehouse, Ron Fairley, and Bill Kruger, I'm Rick Riz saying so long, everybody, from the Kingdome.
This is Fox Sports.
Brian Jordan, Rick Reed, back up the middle.